Alright, today's coffee is brought to you by Uncle Nitty's Southern Pecan Flavored Coffee. I gotten ahead of myself this morning, and I had already ground some up and started a pot. But this is what we're having this morning. Alright folks, this morning I want to talk about this situation over here with this oregano, and I want to talk about the compost bins in the back. We got a ton of rain last night, which is a good thing. I love when the leaves on the tomato plants are looking nice and vibrant. I love to see tons of flowers. That's always a plus. And look at all these on the cucumber plant. Down in there. But anyhow, I want to talk about the compost. That's what we're going to get into today. Alright, so this is a 6-quart bucket that I keep in the kitchen, and I put all my kitchen scraps in here. I've got coffee grinds, I've got used paper towels, any leftover veggies out of the fridge that went bad before I was able to cook them. But more so, it's just scraps of like cut off broccoli and things like that, because I generally don't let anything go bad. I'll make a stir fry before I do that. But at any rate, toss all of that stuff in here. So this morning's coffee grinds, I'm gonna go ahead and toss those in there as well. And this is full enough. I usually don't even let it get this full, but whatever. I'm gonna take this out. There's peppers in here as well. Anyhow, you get the idea. All your old kitchen scraps. I'm gonna take this outside and put it into the larger bin of compost. All right. So the way that I do my compost setups is, I grab these buckets from like Target, Walmart, wherever it is that you shop, and I drill holes all around the bottom. There's one on each side. And then there's about 9 drainage holes on the bottom, because with compost you need to keep it moist and you want the water to be able to drain out. Now I'm gonna wind up doing a different system, because the water that drains out is actually very beneficial water. It's what they call compost tea, and it's amazing to be able to water your garden with that. But anyhow, that's another video. We're gonna get into that at another time. This is an older bucket of compost. I've been working on this for a few months now. This I'm going to get in here and I'm going to turn that. This one over here is the newer one that I'm going to, those scraps that I just talked about, I'm going to wind up putting those in here and turning this situation as well. I usually turn them every 2 weeks or so. So let me do that, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Alright, as you can see, the older one is breaking down very nicely. All of the matter is brown. You can even see the soil starting to form as everything breaks down. So this one I won't add anything else to it. I'll just allow that to continue to break down and break down and break down until I have a nice nourished soil. This one I'll still keep adding to till it gets just a little bit higher, probably around here. And then I'll leave this one alone and let that continue to do what it does until it breaks down to soil. This one's already breaking down pretty well. But yeah, So that's how I do my compost. Also, while I'm at it, I'm gonna go over here and talk about how I compost in place, which I had mentioned in another video. Do I have one in here? Yeah, but the bucket is, let me see if, oh no, this is a good one to show you. Alright, so here we go. So what I do is clear out a space within a container. And I do this with any container gardening that I'm doing. So you clear out a space and put an old pot, you know, that you've got some plants in or whatever from the nursery. Put that down in, oh, and make sure, of course, it has good drainage holes on the bottom. And stick that down in there. And what you're gonna do is, and look how that's breaking down already. Put your kitchen scraps inside of that pot. And then on top of that, you put another plant with whatever it is that you want to plant. This one here happens to be lemon balm. And I just started this on June 19th, so nothing's come up yet. But anyways, as you're watering the lemon balm, the drainage from the lemon balm goes down into the other container and waters the matter that whatever you have in there, composting, and then that water in turn goes into this soil and feeds your plants. That's the compost tea that I was talking about. So this is an awesome way to compost. So you're creating new organic soil, and you're also feeding your plants at the same time. I don't have that going on, and this isn't happening here. This is just a pot. I planted some sage and then just stuck the pot over there. But another one of the good things about this is, and I don't know if there'll be any under here because, like I said, I don't see any. I just started this, but the moisture from underneath this situation will create an environment for earthworms. More so over here because the worms will want to find their way to this food and help break that down. But of course, that's something you also naturally want in your garden. I have a smaller one over here with some lemon balm in it, but same case scenario, there's another smaller pot underneath there with food matter that you can't even see because it's already started breaking down. And another smaller one over here. Let's see where else I have one at. I have one over here in the peppers, and this one is lemon basil, which I started on, same thing, 619, but this basil's already starting to come up already. Same case scenario, 2 containers. The container under here has food scraps in it. So if I just have a few little food scraps that I want to bring out, I can just bring those out, toss them in here, and there you go. I'm composting right in place. Same case scenario. All of those nutrients that drop off from out of that pot, or that run off out of that pot, are going into the larger pot and feeding my pepper plants. I mean, it's a win-win situation. And it's real simple. You know, you cook dinner, you cut peppers, you cut broccoli, you cut carrot tops off, whatever. Bring it outside, toss it in the container. And I mean, the same with those containers back there. You don't have to, wait until you get a bucket full. For me, it just makes it easier because then I can just turn it all at the same time, because you don't want to continue to turn it and turn it and turn it. You want to turn it at least once a week. So I'll save that up, for like a week or so. That might have been a little over a week. You save it for like a week or so. As you can see what I did, I dumped it in there, I turned it, and there you go. Now the oregano situation that I told you that I was going to talk about. Now, oregano, yes, it's great for deterring a lot of the the little bugs and aphids and whatnot that love the pepper plant. But the other thing, the downside to it is oregano is from the mint family. So if you know anything about herbs that are from the mint family, the lemon balm, which I have over there going crazy, basil, things like that, they just keep growing and growing and growing, and yeah, they just won't stop. A better idea of what I'm getting ready to show you is on this plant here, because I just wrapped one around yesterday. Now, mint, as you'll see, when it starts growing out, at some point in time, you'll get these long legs that grow out. If this was on the ground, like in the garden bed or whatever, this thing has nodes here that would grow roots, and it would grow right into the garden bed and build an entirely, or form an entirely new plant. So I just tucked it away in here so that it could do that down within that soil. But as far as the oregano plants, once again, it does the same thing, but I just didn't have an idea of how to show you what I was talking about because I cut it off. But anyhow, so it had rooted and built an entire, because all I planted was this little piece that I bought. I planted it over here. It had rooted all along here, all along down here, and you know, those things, they'll choke your plants out. Now I want you to help my plant, but I don't want you to choke it out. So I wound up cutting that thing out, and it had roots all along the bottom of it. You can see down in here the root system in this one, and that's how it'll grow all the way along this entire piece. So when I cut that one out, I made some herb flavored oil with some of it, and I had so much that I just took a piece, I stuck it in this bin that I had cleaned, some radishes and carrots that had bolted. I cleaned them out of this bin. So I was like, oh, I'm not doing anything with this bin right now. I'm just gonna stick that oregano in there. I stuck the oregano, it's already taken hold. I just stuck it in. This whole entire thing here is a root system, another root system that grew. So I stuck it in here, I watered it, and here we go. We're gonna have a whole pot full of oregano. But the next time I want to make some herb olive oil, I'll use this. So anyhow, that's the situation with the oregano. If you're planting things from the mint family in your containers, you want to be careful. You don't you don't want them to take over the entire root system of what it is that you're actually trying to grow. This is the lemon balm, same exact thing. Which is why I'm growing more lemon basil, because I'm gonna wind up just cutting all of this out of here, which isn't even really that much. I'm gonna cut this out of here and then just let the lemon balm take over the entire thing. And I have other containers of lemon basil growing, so I'm fine with it. Same with cilantro. At some point in time, that's gonna go crazy, and I'm fine with it, because as far as this thyme is concerned, I've got a ton of thyme planted back there near the corn. So yeah, so that's that on that and everything. Let's see, how are we doing with the Scotch bonnets since I'm right here? They haven't flowered yet, but the plant itself looks very good. I'm happy with it. But yeah, like I said, that's that on that. Once again, thanks for watching. Alright, one more thing, because I just happened to look over here and see this lavender, which has taken forever. Well, my phone cut me off because it said it was too hot, but all I wanted to do was show you my lavender. Yeah, I don't ever know how full it's gonna be, or what. This is my first time with lavender, but it's taking a sweet time doing what it's doing. But anyhow, when my phone cut me off, I had a moment to go back in and grab my peach that I had left inside I never finished from a little while ago. But anyhow, seeds I do not put in the compost while I'm holding this seed. I don't put seeds in the compost because once again you have to think about the idea that you're creating soil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that soil and I'm going to put it into my garden. And you don't want large clumps. Seeds, they don't break down. You don't want large clumps in your garden soil. So for me, that's the reason why I don't compost seeds. And that's that on that as well. Is this bird stuck? Tell me you're not stuck. Do I gotta go save I don't want to go save a bird today, but I might have to do something because he looks stuck. Oh boy. Let me go set up the tripod and save a bird. Or not. Alright, so the little guy was stuck in this fence over here. His wing looked a little jacked up, but he made his way out. There's been a lot going on up here. I don't know if some babies are learning how to fly or what, but anyhow, all is calm now.